cows. Hey everybody, welcome back to Loose Ends Ranch. This is David Luce. It's a very cool video today. I have my dad on. We're going to be talking about stockpiled grass in the springtime and how we save money on feed. It's going to be so cool. Enjoy the video. So my dad Brian Luce, he's been teaching this stuff for longer than I've been alive. He's a certified educator in holistic management, and he's taught hundreds and hundreds of people grazing principles, pasture management, animal handling, all of these things to get the most and best out of your pastures and doing what is best for your livestock. It is so cool. I'm happy that you guys are here.
This paddock is about 25 acres. It was seeded in about 1974, probably to smooth brome, timothy, fescue, alsike. We have calved on this particular paddock since the early 80s. We started being a little more purposeful and setting aside grass to have out here when we were calving. Probably late 80s, early 90s, and then about 1994 we started using the holistic management biological plan so that we could make sure that if we did set these paddocks aside, we still had adequate grass and adequate recovery on that grass during the growing season. So this particular grass that we see here has grown since June of last year. This is the middle of March right now. We grazed it off in the early spring, early April last year, and then we came back on it in June because it was a good growing year. And we really want to get good volume and good quality out here as well. And you can see it's kind of thatched over. David will give you a picture of that, and that's what we want to see, is it's laying down nice, and that protects the grass in underneath from the oxidizing over the winter time. We like to calve out on this because it's basically 25 acres of bedding for the calves. They nestle down in this tall grass in little spots and are quite sheltered and dry and clean. We do not strip graze when we're out calving. Our focus really during calving time is live calves, healthy calves, and getting the cows rebred. We didn't ever find that there was much of an advantage to doing the strip grazing in just the amount that they used. So we will come out here and start feeding them a little bit in order to get them to utilize this a little bit better. We also really watch the manure and make sure that the manure is not too runny and not too dry, which is an indicator of the quality of the grass. We don't test this grass anymore. We did a lot of that early on, but we find that it changes so fast in the spring. By the time we get our cows on here, get it tested, get the tests back, everything has changed, and in some cases they're already done the paddock and moved on to another one. What we've noticed in this stockpiled grass is early growth. So right now the ground is still frozen, but we're finding little shoots of grass about that tall, and some of this grass actually has the end of the stem is brown and the very base of it is nice and green. So we've got some new growth coming on. We don't see that in our other paddocks, just in these paddocks that have this nice cover of grass on them. And we've even seen that right underneath the snow. Now if you've ever gone into a snow cave that you made as a kid, you'll realize that there's a lot of light that comes through the snow. And so it's already gathering solar energy early on, and so it really extends our growing season much past what we would normally have. When we're setting these apart or aside, we will look at what are we going to need in the spring for acres and volume, We want to make sure that we're calving on clean ground, and so we want to make sure that we have enough paddock set aside. The trick with that though is that there's a window in June and July, this fairly short window there, where we can get the quality and the volume. So we kind of take what we get here by not worrying too much about that and supplement with good quality hay. We've even used oats. One year we used some cull potatoes, just anything that we can to supplement them out here. We have to remember that the priority in this time of year is healthy live calves, and this is one of the ways that we can do that. We've had, what about if you have trouble out here? And yeah, sometimes that can be double trouble, I guess, because it is hard to get them in sometimes. But we find that we have very little trouble out here. The worst is, the wild card is always weather. We get a lot of cold, wet, windy weather. That can be a problem any time of year, really, and in any situation. But they're out of the mud. They stay nice and clean out here. And I think that's a huge benefit. And the benefit is also seen on the long recovery period on our grass. This particular paddock is still one of our most productive paddocks, and even though it's quite old, I think that long recovery period has benefited that. Now there are some that we didn't graze during the growing season, we just grazed them off in the spring and then kept them over winter, and there's a lot of feed out there. And one of the reasons is just showing that an old paddock can still be quite productive, and also showing what the benefits of stockpiling your grass in a long recovery period can be. And the ground is still frozen. We tried that out. It's frozen, so that's always quite amazing to see new growth out here this early. And we're going to be turning the cows in here right away today. Turning cows out in here really is dependent on how much snow is out here. This feels basically bare this year. We're going to run into probably a water problem out here because it's still quite cold at night, so our water lines that we've got around just will be frozen yet. So we might end up just having them walk back to a water for a while, but things change pretty fast here. I think last year we went out probably 15th of April, and there was just a little bit of bare ground out here for them and lots of snow. So every year is different. We go out here as early as we can, but not too early so that we're running out too soon, because it's a real pain to have to start feeding before we go back onto grass. So this is Kentucky Blue. You can see this is all new growth here, and here you can start to see last year's growth. So this is something that we didn't realize would happen here, that we would see new growth just extending last year's growth up. So you can find, a lot of times we'll find little shoots of clover out here. Also, if it tears really nice, that's what you want, so they can easily get a handful of grass, or a mouthful of grass. It's really easy to tear off. See, there's some nice green shoots there. See, look at that one. The ground is frozen. I think that's really cool. There's another one. There's another one.
And those are just loaded with...
Oh, they're like vitamin pills.
Yeah.
Here's some clove patch here. Now I'll find some clove. Oh, yeah.
See, there's ice right there, and there's green shoots right beside the ice.
Well, everybody, thank you for watching. I know Dad is sure thankful being able to talk to you guys on this channel. Please comment below if you want to hear him talk more about different stuff. I mean, our season is just getting started, and he has something to say about pretty much every day. Everything that happens just has something else going on, something worth talking about, whether it's soil health, whether it's grass health, animal health, anything. It's so cool. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.